crying infant calms to a lullaby. Ocean waves slow the breath. A sudden alarm instantly creates tension. Before we consciously think about sound, the body often reacts first. Certain sounds soothe us. Others agitate us. Some sounds can instantly trigger memory, emotion, or anxiety within seconds. Long before modern wellness trends existed, ancient cultures already believed sound influenced the body and mind in profound ways. So why does this happen? And why have humans used sound in ritual, restoration, meditation, and healing practices for thousands of years? From Tibetan bowls and Vedic chanting, to temple bells, tribal drumming, and the mathematical harmonies explored by Pythagoras, sound was once viewed as far more than entertainment. It was viewed as influence, as resonance, as medicine. And modern science may finally be catching up. Because researchers now understand that sound can affect the nervous system, stress response, emotional state, breathing patterns, and even brainwave activity more deeply than many people realize. So in this video, we're exploring why sound affects us so powerfully, the ancient cultures that used it, the science behind vibration and resonance, and why restorative sound practices are becoming increasingly relevant again in modern life. Because in an increasingly noisy world, many people are searching for calm once again. Part 1. Why sound affects us. Sound shapes human experience every single day, often without us even noticing. Think about how different environments feel. Heavy traffic, sirens, crowded shopping centers. Now compare that to rainfall, birdsong, ocean waves, soft music late at night. Most people instinctively feel the difference before intellectually understanding it. That is because sound is deeply connected to the nervous system. When sound waves enter the ear, they are converted into electrical signals and processed by the brain. But the body responds too. Harsh or chaotic sounds can increase alertness and tension. Stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline may rise. The heart rate increases. Muscles tighten. Attention sharpens. This response once helped humans survive danger. But modern life rarely becomes quiet. Notifications, traffic, screens, conversation overlap. The nervous system rarely gets true silence anymore. But calming sounds can create the opposite effect. Gentle rhythms, nature sounds, soft chanting, meditative music. These sounds may help slow breathing, relax muscle tension, and support emotional regulation. Research has also explored how calming sound may influence neurotransmitters associated with mood and well-being, including dopamine and serotonin. Think about how naturally humans respond to sound. A favorite song after a difficult day. Rainfall while trying to sleep. A calming voice during stress. Even silence itself can feel restorative after prolonged noise. In many ways, the body is constantly listening to the environment around it, even when we are not consciously paying attention. Part 2. The ancient origins of sound healing. Long before neuroscience existed, humans already understood that sound could alter emotional and psychological states. Ancient cultures around the world used sound during ritual, prayer, mourning, celebration, meditation, and restoration. In India, Vedic traditions used mantras and repetitive vocal tones believed to influence consciousness and energetic balance. These chants have existed for thousands of years. In Tibetan traditions, bowls, bells, and harmonic instruments were used to support meditation and internal focus. Deep, resonant tones filled monasteries and ceremonial spaces. Many indigenous cultures also used drumming rhythms during ceremony and communal gatherings. Rhythm created synchronization, connection, focus. Even today, repetitive rhythms are known to influence emotional and psychological states. But one of the most fascinating figures connected to sound emerged in ancient Greece more than 2,500 years ago, a philosopher named Pythagoras. Part 3. Pythagoras, Harmony, and the Music of the Spheres. Pythagoras is often remembered for mathematics, but his fascination with sound was equally profound. Historical accounts suggest he discovered that musical harmony could be expressed mathematically. Using a single-string instrument known as a monochord, he explored how different string lengths created harmonious tones. Simple numerical ratios produced sounds humans naturally perceived as balanced and pleasing. This discovery deeply influenced his philosophy. Pythagoras proposed that harmony existed throughout nature and the cosmos itself, an idea later referred to as the music of the spheres. The concept suggested that celestial bodies moved according to mathematical harmony and vibrational order. Whether symbolic or literal, the idea was revolutionary. It connected mathematics, music, nature, and human experience together. To Pythagoras, sound reflected structure, balance, resonance. Some historical writings also suggest he used music therapeutically to support emotional balance and mental clarity. Thousands of years later, humans are still exploring similar questions. Why do certain sounds feel calming? Why do some sounds create discomfort almost instantly? And why does rhythm affect the body so naturally? Part 4. Sound, Resonance, and the Human Body. The human body is constantly vibrating. The heart beats rhythmically. Brain waves oscillate. Breathing follows rhythm and pattern. Even cells communicate electrically. Because sound itself is vibration, many researchers and practitioners became fascinated by whether vibration could influence the body more deeply. One important concept here is resonance. Resonance occurs when one vibrating object influences another vibrating system. A simple example is a tuning fork. Strike one tuning fork beside another tuned to the same frequency, and the second fork may begin vibrating as well. Some researchers and wellness practitioners have explored whether tissues, organs, and systems within the body may also respond uniquely to vibration and resonance. This remains an evolving area of discussion and research, but the idea itself has fascinated humans for centuries. In traditional Chinese medicine, health was historically associated with balanced energy flow, often referred to as qi. Practices involving breath, sound, vibration, and movement were sometimes used to support internal harmony. Modern technology has also allowed researchers to visualize sound in remarkable ways. One famous example is cymatics. Swiss researcher Hans Jenny demonstrated how sound frequencies could organize particles, water, and sand into intricate geometric patterns. Different frequencies produced entirely different forms, because they revealed something visually striking. Sound does not simply disappear. It creates movement, pattern, and influence. Part 5. Modern Research, Humming, and Restorative Sound. During the 20th century, several researchers explored how sound and frequency may influence the human mind and body. Dr. Alfred Tomatis studied how sound affected learning, mood, attention, and auditory processing. Fabien Maman investigated how sound frequencies interacted with cells and energy systems. Meanwhile, broader scientific research began examining areas such as brainwave entrainment, meditative states, breath regulation, vagus nerve stimulation, and humming. Interestingly, humming is something humans naturally do instinctively. People hum while cooking, while calming children, while nervous, while relaxed. Research has explored how humming may significantly increase nitric oxide production within the nasal passages. Nitric oxide plays important roles in circulation and respiratory support. But perhaps more noticeable is the feeling itself, the vibration, the slower breathing, the shift in attention. For many people, humming creates a surprisingly grounding effect. Not because something magical is happening, but because breath, rhythm, sound, and vibration are all interacting with the nervous system simultaneously. Researchers have also explored how repetitive rhythmic sound may influence brainwave activity associated with calmer and more meditative states. But what is increasingly clear is that sound influences human physiology more deeply than many people once assumed. Part 6. Solfeggio frequencies and modern sound culture. In recent years, specific frequencies have become increasingly popular within wellness communities, often referred to as solfeggio frequencies. These tones are commonly associated with meditation, relaxation, emotional restoration, and energetic balance. Among the most widely discussed is 528 Hz, sometimes referred to online as the love frequency. Many people describe it as calming, uplifting, or emotionally soothing. Other frequencies have also developed strong associations within modern wellness culture. 136.1 Hz is often linked to grounding and meditative resonance. 256 Hz is commonly associated with clarity and balance. 384 Hz is frequently connected to emotional release and relaxation. Tuning forks using these frequencies are now widely used in meditation practices, yoga spaces, wellness clinics, and personal rituals at home. Imagine arriving home after an exhausting day. The body tense. The mind overstimulated. For some people, restorative sound practices become less about dramatic healing claims and more about creating intentional moments of calm. A tuning fork vibrates softly beside the body. A bowl resonates slowly through a quiet room. Breathing slows naturally. Attention shifts inward. The environment changes, and often, the emotional state changes with it. Humanity's fascination with sound and restoration continues across cultures and across centuries for obvious reasons. Part 7. Why restorative sound matters today. Modern humans are surrounded by noise almost constantly. Notifications, traffic, screens, background stimulation. For many people, silence has become rare. The nervous system rarely fully disengages. Perhaps this is why restorative sound practices are experiencing renewed interest. Not because humans are moving backwards, but because many people are searching for balance again. Moments of stillness, breathing space, calm, restoration. Sometimes this may look like meditation. Sometimes nature walks. Sometimes soft music late at night. Sometimes chanting, humming, tuning forks, or sound baths. Not as magical cures, but as restorative experiences. Simple moments that help people slow down and reconnect with themselves again. Humans have always lived with sound, but perhaps ancient cultures paid closer attention to it than modern society often does. For thousands of years, sound was woven into ritual, reflection, healing, meditation, storytelling, and community life. Today, science continues exploring many of the same questions our ancestors once approached intuitively. How does sound affect emotion? Why does rhythm influence the nervous system? Why do certain frequencies feel calming while others create tension? And why are humans still so deeply drawn toward resonance and restorative sound? Perhaps because wellness has never been only about the body. It is also environment, rhythm, emotion, rest, connection, lifestyle, and the spaces we create around ourselves each day. In the end, restorative living is rarely one single thing in isolation. It is often the combination of many small influences working together. A calmer environment, better habits, meaningful rest, movement, connection, and moments of stillness within an increasingly noisy world. Thank you for watching. Wellness Insights for Everyday Living.